National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
I was introduced to the National Federation of the Blind in 2011 when I won a national scholarship. Before that, I was raised in a loving home, but I didn't know any other blind people. No blind kids, no blind adults. I was living in a world of sighted people, and I knew I was different. My name is Leah Dudley. I am from Columbus, Ohio, and I will this fall be attending The Ohio State University to major in zoology. I was always under the impression that I was always going to be different. I was never going to achieve the same things that my sighted peers were, and I just was never going to fit in. I grew up on a farm. I couldn't travel independently anywhere, and I eventually was just getting very upset about that. I didn't want to live my life in a sighted world where I couldn't achieve, and I felt very alone. As a child, I was abused by my brother, and that made me feel so unbearably alone. I had no one, and I had no way to speak out. I didn't know how to live on my own, so I couldn't get out of that house. And when I won the scholarship and I got a call from Julie Deaton, I didn't know how much that was going to change my life. I was an angry, emotionally drained 17-year-old with a lot of hopes and dreams that were not coming true. I felt stuck in a hole. It was a bit of a battle getting my mother convinced that I should go to the convention. But eventually, with the help of Julie, Barbara Pierce, and some other Federationists, I was able to fly down with some folks from Indianapolis, and I made it to the convention. And at first, I was so overwhelmed by all the people, all these people. They were using their canes and their dogs, and they were finding their way around, and they were just being independent. They were being everything that I wanted to be. And I started to meet with my mentors, and I discovered that being who I wanted to be wasn't such a stretch. I knew I wanted to be a veterinarian, but now it didn't seem so impossible. I finally had found a home. I found strength in myself that I never knew existed. I went back home and waited impatiently for the first day of college, and when I got there, I cried. Not necessarily from homesickness, although there was some, but from relief. You see, the NFB had given me a family. Not only had I found people on the national level who were my friends, but I had also been connected to a state affiliate full of people who cared, who wanted to see me achieve my dreams. And that felt amazing. I knew other blind people. I could look up to other blind people. I could talk to them. I could get advice from them. And as my college years went by, that was so helpful. I will be beginning Ohio State as a transfer student because of some unforeseen circumstances, but my first years in college taught me so much. And without the NFB, I don't know where I'd be. But with the NFB, I have moved away from my parents' house. I'm in an apartment on my own. I brought charges against my brother who abused me for 7.5 years, and he has since served time in a facility. I have become the independent woman that I've always wanted to be, and I know that I will now be able to become the veterinarian that I've always dreamed of being. I could never, ever have done that without my mentors, and could absolutely not have done it without the National Federation of the Blind. I am Aaliyah Dudley, and I am living the life I want.
For more information about the National Federation of the Blind, please visit www.nfb.org or call 410-659-9314.